Hello and welcome to my course on PowerShell DSC, and in this section we'll have a look into logging options in DSC and how to use the event logs for diagnosing DSC errors. Like other Windows event logs, DSC Windows event log messages are split over the three types of logs: operational, analytic and debug. We'll see where the DSC event logs are and how their content is structured. We'll also go in and take a look at the logs and do some basic troubleshooting on the DSC environment and see how we can make use of this information to identify issues in the configuration. DSC provides a wealth of information on how the system is working. From successful to failed operations, DSC logs it all. In this video, we'll have a look at the logging mechanism of DSC and how to analyze and see the DSC logs on a target node. Windows PowerShell desired state configuration, just like any other Windows software, records errors and events in logs that can be viewed from the event viewer. However, the trick lies in effectively parsing these logs so we know exactly why a particular operation failed. DSC logs are split over the three log channels based on the importance of the message. The operational log in DSC contains all the error messages and can be used to identify a problem. The analytical log has a higher volume of events and can identify where errors occurred. This channel also contains verbose messages, if any. The debug log contains logs that can help a developer understand how the errors occurred. DSC event messages are structured so that every event message begins with a job ID that represents a DSC operation. In Event Viewer, DSC events can be seen inside the tree structure, Applications and Service Logs, Microsoft, Windows, Desired State Configuration. Now, by default, the Analytic and Debug logs are not enabled, and this is standard for most Microsoft logs. You need to enable the Analytic and Debug logs in the Event Viewer if you want to see the verbose messages and debug messages that are generated while running the DSC configuration. Alright, let's start some configuration and have a look into the Event Viewer to see the details of the DSC logging. I'm into Visual Studio Code. This is the editor for creating DSC logs and executing PowerShell scripts on my machine. And I'm using the Windows Event util to set the Analytic and Debug events to be enabled and set it true so that I can see the Analytic and Debug logs in my Windows DSC event log source. I also have created a custom configuration that I'm going to run on this target machine that is just going to create a folder in c:temp and also a file in under this particular folder, and then I'm running a script resource that will throw an error so that I can see these errors logged into the event viewer. So I'm going to PowerShell now. This is my PowerShell window and I'm going to run the configuration DSC log demo config.ps1. And this is going to generate the MOV file. So if I do the start DSC configuration -path DSC log config, I'm using the verbose and I'm using wait, and let me just do the force option. So it's going to execute the configuration, and now you can see that it has thrown the error from the script resource. So let's go back to the event viewer and see whether I have any errors in my event log. So you can see that now I have a couple of events, couple of errors logged, and let's go into the details of this one. So I'm just gonna first let me show you where these logs are. So it's under the Applications and Services log, Microsoft, Windows, and then you scroll a bit down and you can see Desired State Configuration. You can also see the Analytic and Debug logs are enabled, and the operational logs is where we can see the errors from the configuration. So let's go back to that error which we had while executing the resource. And you can see that it is from the msfd script resource. It failed to execute the set target resource because we were throwing a custom error from this particular resource in our configuration. And the message, you can see it's error in configuration. That's the same message we had over here. So this is how you can configure event logging and enable the Analytic and Debug logs. Let's have a quick look into those sources, operation channels. Also, you can see that it has more information and details about what happened in the DSC configuration. So you can diagnose these errors and see what kind of errors were thrown during the configuration execution.